This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monty Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and My Mortgage Team.
Every week we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow along and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away. Questions at talkmusiccity.com.
What are you saying there, Monty?
Carey Ann.
I'm trying to raise the octave. It's not going very far.
I just talk a lot lower. And we got a special guest in the house today.
We do. Welcome.
Mr. James Fuertes, so good to see you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here. Happy to help.
So, Carey Ann, I got a quick question for you before we go to our sponsor. How does a guy come in to real estate in today's world? In today's world, only really focused on real estate for about a year and a half. And how does he climb the ladder to be in the top? Certainly the top 10 of over 200 agents with our organization. How do you do that? We're going to explore that, right, Mr. Fuertes?
I'm excited to know that.
I'm excited about that.
I'm excited to talk more about that. I think it's maybe some determination, some commitment.
I think so.
Some hunger.
So. Let's talk about our awesome sponsor for a minute.
We do have a great sponsor, Music City Removal. They're the #1 junk removal service in Nashville. From residential, commercial, and construction, they're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. Whether you need a full clean out or just one item removed, they have you covered.
I love that tone in your voice. It's really cool. The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because clutter ain't cute. Nor is my voice today, but we're going to work through this. We've got Mr. James with us.
Yes.
I know, so you're saying less than 2 years in the business?
Yeah, I mean, he's been licensed for a little bit longer than that, I guess. James, you tell us, before we talk about real estate, let's talk about who you are.
Yeah.
What gave you the right to be who you are today, and tell us a little bit about your history so we know where we're coming from. And again, it just amazes me. See, I'd like to take some. I'd like to stroke my ego for a second. That I saw a lot of real estate over the years, and
what were you saying, like 30 plus years?
Almost 40.
Oh,
I'm just going to go ahead and start saying 40 because I'm almost 70.
Round it up.
But, that's one thing to have somebody reach out to me like they did a couple days ago and say, hey, Monty, we're thinking about moving. Can you come list our home? That's one thing.
Sure.
But when you don't have the database, so this is for everybody that's only been in the market for a short time is what today's program is certainly about, because I'm amazed at how anybody can succeed at this level. I'm not saying it's not possible. Obviously, we got proof here in the room, but it's tougher out there than I've been in this thing, like I said, almost 4 decades, and I through every market that you can imagine during that time,
mm-hmm.
and I've not seen it more challenging than it is today. So I'm excited to learn more about what you do once we find out who you are.
Yeah. Okay. So who I am. There's like a bunch of questions that you guys all went over there briefly. So
go ahead and get all those answered. Immediately.
Who's James Fuertes?
Sure. So I got into real estate. Got my license, I would say, little under 3 years ago, or somewhere around there. The first 2 years, I was busy with another business with some friends of mine.
It's okay to say what kind of business.
Yeah. Title Boxing Club.
Uh-huh.
We opened up several years ago. Then we opened up a second one in Green Hills, and when you open up a second franchise like that, fitness franchise, it's almost like you've opened up 4 or 5 of them. The amount of stress with the trainers and everything. But so I got my real estate license, and I didn't do anything with it. I had joined a team, and I was doing very little work part-time here and there,
mm-hmm.
a couple deals here and there, not much at all. And it wasn't until last February where I said, okay, I'm going to just burn the boats, go all in full-time, and that's pretty much it. Before,
so you moved that interest, you were interested, and now you're totally committed.
Now I'm totally committed.
I love that.
Yeah, totally committed since last February, February of 2020, right when the pandemic was
great timing there, James.
yeah, right. Apparently, but yeah, before that I was a chiropractor, and before that several different jobs. I'm also an actor. My friends think I'm some kind of gypsy because I move around the U.S. quite a bit, and And if there's a job out there, I've had it. Manual labor, waiter, fast food. I've done Uber, Lyft.
I love it because that all leads to all the strengths you need to be an amazing real estate agent.
Real estate agent. Yeah,
I think so.
It's all about serving others, right. And especially to have to be a chiropractor, have that heart of loving people and helping them heal. Certainly sets you up for a great opportunity to be the right kind of real estate attitude. But so what made the change? You suddenly became, instead of being a generalist, you became more laser focused, or what was the driving factor that made you decide to, I'm going to look out around other companies and see what fits, and how do I really fit in this business? It's so crowded right now. 17,000 agents out there, by the way. So that's why
so many.
It's one of the reasons I applaud
just
you
in
at the
Middle
level.
Tennessee, though, right?
Just in Middle Tennessee.
That's that right there.
That's
amazing.
Right around here.
Holy smokes! Yeah, that's crazy. What made me decide to go all in with real estate last February?
Yeah.
I'd had so many different jobs, and I had a friend who was experiencing quite a bit of success in real estate.
Okay.
And it was just a matter of, okay, enough floundering. And literally I was renting a room out of a friend's house at the time. I was down to like my last $1,000 in my bank account, and had nothing else left, like no other money or assets or anything else like that. And I was like, okay, you know what, let's stop looking at any of these like online classes or any of these other, because you'll see so many gurus, do this online, and I was like, okay, forget it. I'm just going to go all in real estate and see what happens. And spent my last $1,000 with some Zillow leads, and it just snowballed from there.
What a great story, isn't it?
I
didn't know about this, so I should have asked that question before now, I guess.
Yeah. Penniless.
But let's jump forward here just for a second, okay?
Sure.
Just for a second. In talking with you last week, you shared with me a number, an income number that you're going to realize the first half of this year, basically. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you mind sharing what that number is?
Yeah.
I want people understanding we're not talking about something everybody does, and you've got a backstory now, down your last $1,000. That is really, really an awesome story. Mm-hmm. And then to find out where you're at the first half of 2021, which is, like I said before, a really challenged market. What is that number?
Yeah, as far as
income.
Gross income. Oh, I didn't know if I was allowed to say it on the podcast, so I am allowed to say it. Okay, cool. Yeah. So
we have no secrets here, but as long as it's G-rated, we're good.
So it almost leads in from last year, because last year, which was a record year, I'd never seen a certain amount of money per month in my entire life, and last year we did it was just like a shade under 200. Maybe it was like 180 something, somewhere around there, or maybe 170 something. I can't remember. And
it was 179 to be exact.
He knows the exact number over here. Of course he does.
Well, no. Yeah. Here, let me share with you why. And I'm sorry for just interrupting you, but we got the sweetest, Carey Ann, text Connie and I did from James, saying that he in his experience in life, he'd really never earned more than $50,000 in a year. And that, based on the closing he just had, was on the way to the office so he could get paid. He's going to realize $179,000 last year. And so that, to me, is way bigger than selling $1 million home for this old dog here, because just to hear that kind of success story just blesses me so much. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
But what is the number today? Because this is really exciting.
Yeah, the number today.
This is halfway into the year.
And it doesn't include the closing that happens tomorrow, because there's a big closing that happens tomorrow. It'll add
Let's go ahead and throw that one in too.
We're not jinxing it. So
Never mind. Don't throw that one in. Don't throw that one in.
We don't sell the money we don't have.
That's right. We only count what's at the
back.
Yeah. So as of today, which end of June is 6 months into the year, right?
I know, halfway. I cannot believe
we've passed 230, right?
Yeah.
230 something.
Over $230,000 for 6 months.
That is amazing.
Months, yeah.
I challenged him last year. Look, you can break 200. And I feel like a sissy now that that's all I gave him to shoot for.
As soon as he said that, as I was driving back, as I was walking in my car, when you told me that, I'm walking in my car and I'm thinking, we're going to beat 200 easy. That's not a problem at all. So
wow, that's all I can say is wow.
Well, that gives me, I get excited for that, because hitting goals, and especially knowing your story just not even 2 years ago, right? Or just at least a year and a half ago, to know where you were. And I think of your story as the girl that was the founder of It Cosmetics. I love her. Jamie, she was down to her last $1,000 too. And she put it all on the line, and she just jumped in. And now she's the first female founder of L'Oreal, right? And so that was just from 2008. So big things can happen. So even when you're down at that last moment, if you want to totally get committed and give your total all, I think that's amazing. And I love that. I'm super excited for you with that, because that's
awesome?
Really, that is amazing.
I mean, in the humble spirit is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on here, James, because you're not an egomaniac. You're just a really low-key, awesome individual with a solid reputation or experience of serving others and a solid reputation in the meantime. And Connie, Connie had, those who know my wife knows that she's not shy to share her opinion. It might be because she grew up in the Chicago area. I'm not sure, but you don't want to go in all Chicago on you. That's all I know for sure. But anyhow, my point is, I said, after I talked to you the other day, I said, what's your take on James? Because I think he's an amazing individual. And she said, I love James. His files are pristine. Okay? If you want to talk Connie's love language, his files are pristine. Okay,
that's funny.
So you're an organizer. You cross your T's and dot your I's.
Apparently, yeah. I didn't know, but yeah.
That might be your chiropractor.
That could be
within you.
Joint place.
I love that. Yeah, give every bone in line there. That's awesome. So let's go back. Again, it's not about money. It's great that we earn money,
right? And
it is awesome that we have financial goals. And, people say, do you need more money? Well, what's cool about it is you get to do more for others, right?
It's all about options.
Right. And you get to, I'm blessed to do a lot for a lot of my family, and I love that, and so I'm a simple girl. Lord, I had my truck for how long until I literally had to buy a new truck because the front door fell off, right?
So over 200,000 miles.
I like, the simple things, but I do like to meet goals, right? And it happened to be luck has it where we're in a profession that allows us to help more and we can make more, right? And my suggestion is to save more. Too. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm so blessed. My mom always took 50% of my babysitting money when I was little. So I always learned that I can play with half and save half, that kind of thing. But, and then you want to reinvest back in your business, right? And reinvest back into you to be stronger at what you do, which is to help more and more families. But yes, to go back with, it's not all about money. It is all about helping more families, which then leads to, more financial abilities that you may have never, like you said, have been able to ever reach, which is super cool. So how does one that just decides to put the full foot in here, we're totally going to be committed, February 2020, pandemic hits, do you get shingles like I did? Like, oh my God, what's the world coming to an end? What's happening? Like I was freaked out, March, whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, I got shingles. I got the whole get up. I was like, I'm not ready to retire. Harvey's only 7. I thought it was all happening, So what happens there when you're like, I just jumped in full, into the deep end and then COVID hit? How did you navigate through that? Did that give you more fire in your belly or what happened there?
I almost moved as if there was no COVID. I was like, okay, the world's gonna do whatever the world's gonna do, and the politics are gonna do whatever politics are gonna do, and I still have to do whatever I need to make. Like I'm just gonna focus on today, one foot in front of the other, and that's it. Small little goals that I can actually measure, and that I can attain, and that's the end of it. And then it just snowballed from there. It didn't really freak me out as far as COVID goes.
Let's pause there on that. Just go over that again. Just 1 foot ahead of the other, and focus on the small things that you could control.
That I can control, and that's huge. Yeah, because I've got agents on my team where they're focused on how many sales they do a month, and I'm like, you can't control that, man.
Right.
But what I can control are the daily tasks and the daily little things that I know will equivalate, which I know will actually make the sales per month. And then you're going to succeed if you just do that.
Right.
I love that. I'm a big believer, not that I watch horse races, whatever, but I think if you had a horse and you were putting in the race, I think they put blinders on the sides of the horses so you stay in your lane, right?
The competition.
Right, and you stay focused, right? And so that's kind of what you said that you did.
Yeah.
So did you have one opportunity that opened up multiple doors? You referenced Zillow leads.
Yeah.
Was there that one, Zillow lead that really made a difference for you? Because I can remember back that one situation that opened up a door for me. Do you have that memory?
Not one. There was several. So when I was about to start spending money on marketing spend, and I was down to just a little bit, so I had to make sure, okay, it needs to be the most bang for my buck.
Sure.
Period. I knew earlier when I was on the team with that other agent that the best leads I ever had was Zillow.
Okay.
Those are the only ones I ever closed were Zillow leads. And so online, there were all these different websites and all these different ways to get
Just
leads.
for the record, we're not endorsing Zillow.
We're not necessarily endorsing Zillow.
I was going to get there because I was like, he doesn't.
Yeah, not necessarily.
I just wanted to throw that out there. We're not endorsing. They're the devil as far as I'm concerned.
So a lead opportunity.
But not for you, James. I'm sorry. I don't.
Yeah, not for me.
There was a certain type of lead opportunity that was worthy of more.
Yeah.
We try to have a good time here. I'm sorry.
And so what happened was, there's all these, there's so many different ways to potentially get business, right?
Sure.
And you'll have all these different companies telling you, oh, this my way is the best way, best way is the best way. And I was like, I don't need a fancy website. I don't need this. I don't need that. I'm just going to go with this one company. And even that one company, a company we won't name that starts with Z and rhymes with Zillow, is
or devil, however you pronounce it.
That's right.
Yeah. So like if you were to look at a zip code map, the areas that are in the homes that you want to show, right? If you want to be showing homes in Brentwood, showing homes in Franklin, it's going to cost you a lot of money,
right,
to get those leads. And so I just looked way far out. And so I'm thinking I'm more than willing to do my research and find out information about these areas, and I'll just show homes all the way out there. And
I wondered how you got so far out in the country all the time.
Oh, yeah, way out there. Yeah,
makes sense.
Oh my God, we have something in common. This is so fun.
Yeah.
That's how I did it too. I love it. Yeah, I totally. Everybody was in Williamson County. 15 years ago, and I was like, y'all stay in Williamson County.
Yeah.
Mom was going north, south, east, west,
right,
and I drove an hour all different ways. And the only account I have in Williamson County is you. I do business in every other business. I love that.
Yeah.
Go where people want to be loved, right? Wherever the competition is, let y'all stay there. That's so good. So keep going.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
So the rep for this company, he was like, hey, you need to buy this one zip code. And I spent like 5 hours that night looking at that zip code and thinking I could do better. And so I bought all these other zip codes way on the periphery of our MLS, like way out there. I mean,
in
Tennessee, yeah. Bordering Alabama, bordering Kentucky, halfway to Memphis, halfway to Knoxville. And I got to know these areas, and then as these deals would start to close, then I would start to buy areas that are closer to Franklin, closer to Brentwood, where now I have those areas now. But it was so funny. I mean, there would be times where I'd be driving back home. I'd have 2 hours to get back home, and I'm pulling over at a gas station, and I'm fielding a lead on the call, and I'm typing up a contract and doing. I mean, it was pandemonium for those few months.
Yeah.
And some of my friends were mad. They're like, "Dude, you're not hanging out with us." And I'm like, "I don't got time to hang out with you, man. Yeah. I got goals. I'm trying to do certain things."
Wow.
But and then I had friends of mine that were seeing some of the success I was seeing, and they were agents, and they were saying, well, dude, I'm not going to drive 40 minutes to show home. And I go, well, you're not going to have to worry about driving 40 minutes because you're not going to be able to afford that car soon. You're going to be walking everywhere. So,
right.
But yeah, it just started there. And then now now it's fantastic. Now you got leads that are like looking at 2.5 million.
Started on the drive, and now you've honed it into a little more convenient.
Much more convenient. And I still have some zip codes that are out there, but I have people on my team now that drive those.
And now you've talked about your team a couple times, or mentioned team. So you have now showing agents, buying agents, or what's your team look like?
They do both. They do both. So there's three people, and they'll
plus
do,
you. 3 plus.
Yeah, 3 plus me. Yeah. And they'll. We had a conference call this morning, and they're still learning because I have to like reteach them. Hey, like this is how you're going to talk to the people in this scenario, and this is how you're going to handle this situation. And some of them are a little bit bullheaded, and so we got to knock those things down. But yeah, it's 3 plus me.
So when did you start adding and leveraging your time with adding team members?
Oh man, it wasn't until November of 2020 I brought one person on.
Okay.
And I was very hesitant to do so because I was like, well, I'm a little bit of a control freak. I know I'm really good on the phones when someone calls in.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, and then he's been doing fine. Yeah, he's been doing.
You remember somebody talking to you about leveraging yourself? Do you remember?
I do.
Somebody smart.
Someone very wise. Very wise.
Reminds you of Kenny Rogers.
Very experienced.
Yeah, you had mentioned it. Yeah, and I should have done it sooner. But it's been good since.
You know this when you are a control freak, because I'm one as well. It is.
When did that happen?
But it is, and it's like but you can do so much more, and you can stay in your lane.
Yeah.
And I was just coaching another individual just a second ago, and like figure out your strengths. And even though I love this part, I can stay in the green more if I stay over here, you know, and be able to produce and help many more families. So it is interesting when you're able to step out. And so for the folks that are watching us today, you know, I totally encourage finding your number two as quickly as you can. And that number two doesn't want to be you. That's the struggle too. When you're hiring new, you want to find somebody that compliments you, but doesn't want to be you. You hear all these stories with agents out there that they're so excited. They take on another agent because they need help. And then that agent wants to be you, right? And then all of a sudden you train that person up and then they're off, right?
And half your business goes with them.
Right, or just the time and effort, you know, and there's mentorships, that's one thing, but you're trying to build a business, right, for yourself, right? So finding that, you know, awesome number two is key. And then did you just happen to add two more just randomly, or was that strategic when you built your team?
No, that was strategic as well, because the people, the first guy that I had brought on, he has a family, and he just had a second kid last week or a few days ago.
Awesome.
And so
congrats to him.
Yeah, congratulations to him. And so it was just becoming too much for the two of us. And so we just added another one by necessity. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's important, you know, and the hardest thing is measuring kind of when the system breaks to when to add, you know, another individual. So on your team, do you do buyer's agent, listing agent, showing agent, you know, do you
everybody's
separate?
Everything.
They're all one of the same.
I think that's really the best way to approach it. I really do. I think it's more like you're coming from a place of abundance. You want people to be able to do everything as a whole well-rounded real estate professional, although the more cautious way is probably to start with a showing agent and then the buyer's agent. But that's what I always wanted everybody knowing everything, every part of it, you know.
So what about your paperwork? So do you do your own, or have you hired out and leveraged that from a contract to close standpoint?
Yeah, so it will depend on the scenario. If I use CMG, then we'll try to do contract to close. Sometimes the buyers will come with their own lender, for good or bad. I mean, there've been some bad situations where we have to swap out and use a different lender, and then sometimes they're like, look, this is someone I've used for the last 15 years, and that's it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And in those scenarios, then I will do my own paperwork. And since I'm not married or I don't have kids, I do a lot of my paperwork at like 10 p.m. at night when I'm sitting there, when most people might be watching another episode.
Or sleeping. That would be me.
That when some people
8:30.
might be sleeping. Yeah,
me too.
Because I'm
9
like,
o'clock here.
she goes out at 8, you know, and I'm an early bird, so you find that time. But that is good that you're able to do that. Because I also think when I was newer in the business, I did all of it because I think you're better as a leader when you were able to wear all the hats, right?
Yeah.
So instead of I can jump back to any profession within my organization and do that because I did it, you know, versus me just leading and saying, you know, you do this or you do that. So I think it makes you a better agent for sure, knowing exactly how all that works. So now you have a lead generation system. All the leads are coming in. Are you one that is able to call them and get them closed like that, or do you have to nurture them more? How does that work for you?
So in this crazy seller's market, most of the leads that are coming in, unless they have cash and they can afford to waive the appraisal, or they can at least cover some kind of massive appraisal gap coverage, they're going to be a nurturer anyways, no matter what. At least in my experience, anyway. So
that's a good way to approach it. That they're all nurturers now because it takes time.
Yeah. And so there's a certain thing that I do very specifically with everybody that I talk to on the phone, even if they're trying to get off the phone in a hurry, or if they say they're working with another agent, or there's ways to navigate the conversation where it doesn't just end, but I actually end up getting their information. I can still help them out. But as far as the day-to-day and how I work with the nurturers, is that what you're asking at this point?
Yeah.
So I have this 3 notebook system.
Okay.
Now everyone will go into sync at some point, but I really like having these 3 notebooks. So I have like a red notebook, which is like a fire alarm type notebook, right? And so if something goes under contract, immediately binding agreement date, deadlines, all that stuff, am I getting things done, the documents for Sky Slope or whatever. And that stays home. That never goes anywhere. I won't even risk losing that somewhere. And then there's the blue notebook, which is like stream of consciousness. So the blue notebook is always in my car. If someone gives me a call, hey, can you do something? I'm immediately let me just scribble it down something so I have it down somewhere. But the real critical notebook is the green notebook. So the green notebook is, there's 3 areas on every single page. The first one are my hot leads. I need to talk with them every single day. Even if I don't have something to share with them, I need to talk with them.
Okay.
And talking means actually texting. I'm not actually going to call them on the phone. Unless they're an older couple or an older buyer, then they actually do want to talk.
Older mean like 68?
Yeah, older being like over 79 or something. Like you're not you.
You're
much
so
older
not
than
old.
you. You're not old, man. You're not old.
Just mature.
Thanks.
That's
guys.
right.
I needed that.
That's right. So you have the hot leads every single day. I need to talk to them.
I think that's I love that approach right off the bat. I just want to say, I want to make sure everybody's hearing what he's saying.
I love that.
He's touching them every single day.
Yeah, because this is what happens. In my experience, when someone says, and this goes back to my fitness days, if someone says I'm following the diet plan 3 days a week, or let's say they say that I'm following the diet plan 6 days a week, that really means they're following it like 4 days a week. So it's always less than what they will say. So if I say I'm going to shoot for every day, then even on my bad days, it's going to be like every other day.
Right.
But if I say, I'll touch base with them every couple of days, no, man, it's already going to be like 3 or 4 or 5. Yeah, that's terrible. So that's the first section. Hot leads, I have to touch base with them every single day.
Now, are you talking real estate on those, or are you just, hey, how's it going? Like, are you know what I'm saying? What are you talking about?
Yeah. So if it's a holiday, I'll like on Father's Day, I send out a text, hey, happy Father's Day. And it can't be just generic. It has to be, hey, Carey Ann, happy, well, I wouldn't say to you, but it might be like, hey, Monty,
I got one of those.
Day.
I got one of those.
Yeah.
I got one for me, too.
That's right. Yeah.
Did you get one for me, too?
I did.
You
Thank
did?
you.
Hey, smooth.
How
about that?
That's good.
Lucky.
That's good.
And mine was personalized, too, as in I
know.
did those each time. That's important. So keep going.
So
text.
So the text has to be, there's 3 parts of the text. There's something personal. So like, hey, Monty, that's sometimes
Use
that's
the
just
name,
enough. Yeah,
right.
use the name. Number 2, I don't want to ask them, hey, are you still looking for houses? I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I want to show
annoy
you some
them.
houses because if I'm
You gotta
thinking about
assume that.
Facebook, people are scrolling on Facebook and they're stopping at videos. So I want to send you something to look at. And it all came down to last year when I was shopping for a new car. I went to a few different dealerships, and the guy that got my business was the guy that was regularly texting me cars to look at and not expecting me to respond. So something
Jim
personal.
McCarthy, what do you say about that?
That is a smart salesman.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
There
Okay.
you go.
Yeah.
Jim
A
used
lot
to
of them
do
don't
that.
do that. That's what I used to do.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, very nice. So personal, something to look at, new house, and then I will end the text by saying, hey, let me know your thoughts. In the meantime, I will keep looking. I'll send you something else when I find it. So they already know I'm going to keep texting them, right? And then when there's days where there's nothing that hits the market, I don't not reach out to them. I say, hey, Monty, nothing came out today. I'll keep looking though. Enjoy your Tuesday. And that's it.
Right.
I love that. That's gold right there. Everybody should do that. That's gold.
Good stuff. Okay, so are these notebooks really colored?
Yeah, you want to see the green one? I got it. Like it's a green color
Okay,
notebook.
so I didn't know in
Because
your
it's
mind
money,
like you
is
called it
money
green.
or
You know,
just
I don't know
happen to
why.
be green?
Green for green light, go.
okay.
Like this is something I have to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think green money.
I know you do.
You know, exactly.
I do
Green.
too.
CMG's green money. CA
Yeah.
money makes you money.
My daily one, I have a similar system. My daily one is green.
There you go.
Nice.
I love
Yeah,
that.
that's good. That's
So, okay, going back. So the organization on the red one that stays at home, that just kind of keeps you grounded and moving in a forward direction.
Yeah, red one's just when it goes under contract.
I see.
Just
Okay.
making sure I hit the certain deadlines and we get it to close. And
So
that's it.
how many people are on that hut list within the green? How many, are you?
Yeah,
juggling?
right now there was, I can even look at the green notebook and pull it out, but I think there's 13 people in the hot list in green. There's another 10 people in the nurture. So the 3 different areas are the hot list, what number did I say? 13? And then the nurture is about 10.
So how do they move from nurture to hut?
Yeah. So, and this is the mistake people make. So nurtures, I don't put anybody on an auto notify email or an auto notify text message. I put myself on those. So my phone will go off saying a house just hit. And so then I'll immediately send them a text. Hey, what do you think about this one, Mark?
Love that too.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love
personalizes
that. I'm telling
it.
you, I love it.
No, it's a lot more work.
It's a lot more work, but that's
But-
what it's going to take if you want to make
Right.
500,000
Right,
a year.
exactly.
About the connection. Yeah. I love that. Hope everybody's paying attention.
So you know that 1 through 13, let's just say one's looking for 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Oh, I know, yeah. I know my bones,
so
yeah.
you know when that pops, it's going to go to 1 or it's going to go to 13.
Yeah, and
so
it'll say their name and I mean, I look at these all the time anyway.
so are you putting number 1's name attached, but it's coming to you, so then
Right.
you can personalize it back to them. I love that
so it'll
idea.
be like Lisa's home for today, and I'll send her a quick text. Hey, Lisa, this just hit. What do you think?
Oh, great. So you don't have to, so it's more organized to make it easier, streamlined for
Yeah,
you. That's
yeah.
really good.
I love that. In a day of automation,
Yeah.
this is old school kind of stuff.
I love
but
old
I love
school,
it.
yeah.
I love it too.
Yeah.
That's really good. So, okay, keep going.
And then the nurtures, and this is the mistake people make a lot. So with the nurtures, I actually do try to touch base with them every day, but there's so much to do with this one and with the homework assignments. The homework assignments are like, this deal I got to make sure we get to closing, or this deal I got to make sure. I got to go talk to the inspector or whatever.
Sure.
Right? The daily things you have to do outside of sending people options. But with the nurtures, I just work my way down that list, right? So like, hey, Mark, this hit. Hey, Tina, this hit. And I never get through that list because there's enough to do with the first 2 sections. So wherever I left off at the next day, I pick up from there. So the nurtures end up getting touched based with every like 3 or 4 days regardless, because I'm just working that list as I pick up where I left off.
And then do you, within everything else that you're doing, only allot so much time a day, were you saying, for that? Or are you like, that's a constant, the texts come in, you constantly do, you put that all throughout the day?
Yeah, so I'll try to do from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'll try to do all the texting to all those people.
Okay.
Life will happen, so it might not be 8 to 10. It might just be 8 to 8:30, and then sometime during lunchtime I'll knock out the rest of that list. But that list can happen really fast if you've got your laptop set up and if you know what you're looking at. It can. I mean, you're talking. You could knock through it, and it won't take 2 hours. It might take 35 minutes tops.
But you have a plan. Daily plan.
Yeah.
That's you
Now,
go
you
out.
play an air traffic control person when there's something hot, there's somebody that want to see, you're sending it to one of your folks, or are you doing it, running out there yourself to show that property?
If it's somebody that I have rapport with and it's someone that I've been working with for a while, then I might go show it. If it's too much of a drive, or if I have other things going on, then I'll let. I mean, most of the showings this last month have not been with me. They've been with Daniel or Elma or Alicia or we'll make a post and group me. Anybody can show this, and then Peter Habib will grab it, or somebody else will. If I've got time, I'll go do it. And then there's also this, which has been critical. I've gotten some big deals just by doing this. Let's say, for example, you have a nurture that is never responding, right? And suddenly the house hits that in your bones is the house that they want. Like, I know it. That's the one that, let's say, for example, guy's name is Pete. This actually happened. I know in my bones this is the one that he wants.
Sure.
I'm not going to wait for him to respond. I'm going to schedule a showing. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do a video tour. And I have a lot of humor when I do the video tour. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to literally zoom in on the countertop, zoom in on the flooring. I'm going to put it on an unlisted YouTube link, and I'm going to send him the link. And I will do that a few times. And when I finally got in front of this gentleman, we're there in the house, and he was so much more friendly than he was via text. In text, he wasn't really responding. Sometimes it was 1-2 word answers. When we got into the house, he was laughing. It was him and his daughter. We're having a great time. And as we're walking out, he stops. So it's me, him, his daughter. His daughter walks out. He's walking out. He stops, turns back, and he goes, "James, I want to let you know that first video you sent me, I've never had anybody do that for me ever." And I'm like, "Oh man, happy to help." And I keep walking, and he stops me again. He's like, No, seriously. That's a game changer. And I'm like, dude, happy to do it. Now, I've got friends who are agents, they won't do that.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Are you drowning in business and leads? You don't have enough time to go out there and do a 15-minute video? Like, we're not digging ditches here, man. Like, and I'm used to manual labor jobs where like, I'm going to break my back for 40 hours a week. But for me to go to a house and walk through it and like have fun, and I'll have comedy all over the video. Like, I'll open up the crawl space access and I'll be like, "This is where the scary lady with the one tooth is. I'm not going to go back there." Or this one time I opened up a closet and there was nothing in the closet except this creepy doll on the shelf. And I just said, "Wow, guys, that is nightmare fuel." And then I just kept on going. And I'll have people tell me all the time, they're like, "Dude, your videos are hilarious. Just keep it going."
I mean, that's what you have to. You have to make it personal.
Yeah.
When it becomes so like, and so real estate agent, pretty or it just. It's not good. Yeah. So it really makes it personal, and people relate better, especially if you're up against 3 other people, it's really going to make you more of a human, and they can relate to you more, most likely. So that is awesome. So talk about social media. Do you use it? Do you care about it?
I do care about it. I need to use it more often. Most of my reviews have been coming through my Facebook page, or been coming through the Google page, or been coming through Zillow. Sorry, that company we don't talk about. But I need to be posting those more often. Yeah. I need to be posting more often on social media. I don't do very well with, or I could do better with my sphere of influence and with social media.
Okay.
I need to do better.
Yeah.
One quick question, one more quick question, and we'll let you go, James. This has been really, really a great podcast. I mean,
We're going to Staples and getting colored notebooks here soon.
James.
Colored notebooks, that's it, man. I'm telling you.
I am.
Yeah, but I have a question for you real quick that I know it's really important to everybody right now. So you've met somebody and they're new to the process. Can you share just some nuggets as far as what is the process to get them acclimated to reality as quickly as possible?
Today's reality.
Today's reality as quick as possible.
Yeah, so
that's a hard conversation for a lot of folks.
Yeah, well, I've got to mirror their personality, and then I have to adapt if it's not my personality. So if I'm dealing with like an investor or a guy who owns a big company and he's all business and no fluff, like it's a very different showing and a very different conversation than somebody who's looking for a single family home and they don't really have that much money and they're a lot more personable and they've got like a big family. So letting them know the environment that they're in, I will try to let them know right up front or relatively early in the process. Maybe not on the phone, but when I first get them in the house and we're face to face. Some people have a hard time understanding that. And so I'll say, you know what, this is the environment that we're in. But let's keep on looking, see what we can find. And then eventually they will agree with me when we see that we cannot find what they want. They're going to say, oh man, maybe we need to change our search criteria. And that's the thing too, like I don't want to just hit them over the head with something. I need to have them understand it so that they think they thought of it.
Right.
And really I was the one that always knew it all along, but when they bring it up like, you know what, maybe we need to change the search criteria. And I go, you know what, that's actually a really good idea. I think we do need to change that. And I'm thinking, bro, I knew that 6 weeks ago. So part of it is that, like, I try to bring it up once I'm in person with them, and if they don't get it, I'm not going to beat them over the head with it. I have the time. Let's keep looking at houses, and eventually they will come to grips with it, and then either decide to change the search criteria, or they'll just be like, right now is not the right time. I got to save up more money for the appraisal gap.
Sure.
Such an important conversation in today's world.
This was really
James,
great
you've been
information.
awesome,
I love
really
nuggets
awesome.
that people can take home and really execute on. I am.
Yeah,
I always
I am
find
too.
that I want to learn something new each day, and that was really good. I'm excited. I'm getting my notebooks. They're going to be color
thanks so much
coordinated.
for being
So
on
good.
with us today. I know
So
you're a
good.
busy guy, obviously.
Yeah.
Very busy guy. But,
Word you said, game changer. Really find something to change the game, right? Really make it stand out, be different. There's so many of us, 17,000 agents. How are you going to stand out, and be different? So thank you again for being here with us. And thank you, everybody, for joining. We can't wait to have you come back next week. You've been listening to The Talk of Music City Real Estate.